American injustice. Dems at all levels have flooded the local, state, and federal courts with some of the worst judges and prosecutors in living memory. Folks, I've been around a while. I've never seen it this bad. It's time for a reckoning. A great example was the invasion of a church service at City's Church in St. Paul, Minnesota by a pack of scumballs. There was apparently a rumor going around that one of the preachers was an ICE agent, although I have no confirmation of that. I note that even if there was a preacher who was an ICE agent, this absolutely would not give a single one of the trespassers license to disrupt the church service. Given the violence that has happened at other churches, the parishioners were justifiably scared, along with their children in the church at the time. Suddenly, the St. Paul prosecutor on the case has announced he will not prosecute these church invaders. This disgrace to the justice system claimed that, and I quote, acts of violence, property destruction, or threats to public safety, none of which occurred here, remain serious concerns and will be prosecuted when supported by admissible evidence. Close quote. To enter premises by force and without permission is at the minimum trespassing. Consistent witness reports are that the parishioners were threatened. That is assault. I believe the circumstances justify prosecution. Heck, in Texas, we just shoot them. So take your pick. Shoot them next time, or you prosecute them, you fool. The church is affiliated with the Southern Baptist Convention. Its attorney spokesperson condemned the announcement by the city attorney. I sure don't blame them. Using the First Amendment to excuse trespass and assault from invaders is a dramatic misuse of the Constitution. This could lead to similar invasions due to lack of serious deterrent. On the plus side, the feds are going to charge the invaders. A federal grand jury has indicted 39 people. I like the fact that former CNN host Don Lemon has been charged. Here's an irony, folks. Lemon, a black man, has been charged under the KKK Act. I can't make this up. Americans need to face this new reality before we become the UK. Most of you have heard about the fatal stabbing of a young man in Southampton, England. He was attacked by a Sikh with a long knife. The irony here is that the victim could not carry a knife, but the assailant could due to his ethnic affiliation. In any event, the victim, Henry Nowak, is laying on the ground bleeding to death, and the cops handcuff him because the murderer claimed Nowak made an ethnic slur. The killer has now been sentenced to life in prison for murder. However, now that the story is out, there have been riots in the UK demanding an end to this perversion of justice, in this case, by the cops. I note in recent UK elections, the Common Sense Party members gained seats. Not a majority, but the whack liberals in charge know that the game is soon to be up. Of course, it's hard to have a consistently just society when protesters here in the U.S. get their way. Some of the so-called sanctuary states are denying federal officials unmarked plates for their safety. And most of you have heard that these same states are trying to ban agents from wearing masks to protect themselves. Of course, during COVID, the same warped states would arrest you for not wearing a mask. Now they will arrest federal officers for wearing them. They're that dumb, folks. In an interesting development, the Senate just approved $70 billion for immigration enforcement. Pardon me while I laugh in the face of the Dems. So that means they got nothing out of their ridiculous and anti-American double shutdowns of parts of the government. Not a single accomplishment by screwing the federal employees and the American people. Remember that when you get to the election in November. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate your feedback and concerns. And remember, you can always like, comment, and subscribe right below. And if you've got any ideas for a specific episode or topic, be sure to let us know in the comments. And we generally not only read all the comments, we try and take action based on them. And you can also see us at our website, drdavesavesamerica.com.